Across multiple platforms, many creators have found themselves in the crosshairs of what I could only describe as a cockroach tantrum. I wonder if this looks anything like one of the freakouts we keep hearing about. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll find out. But it seems that these tantrums are being displayed in the form of copyright strikes. The reporting system is being abused and misused as a weapon, not to enforce rules, but to intimidate, discourage, silence lawful commentary. And we've all seen it. The claims are being thrown around like confetti, often without merit. Most of the time, they don't even apply, they have no legitimate basis. And sure, I do have to put in here, maybe some claims are valid, but what I see happening here is not good faith reporting. It's abuse of the system. It's selective. It's obsessive nitpicking of trivial issues. And not to correct anything meaningful, but in an effort to irritate and intimidate and silence people. This has nothing to do about protecting rights. It's about misusing reporting tools in a way to harass and suppress lawful speech. And I don't know about you, but I find it very telling that so much energy is being spent on petty enforcement and clapbacks in comment sections instead of the restraint and growth that's supposedly being worked on and that's constantly being pushed into our faces. Because all I see is the behavior and actions of a bully. Plain and simple. So I have to ask, where's the growth? And the sudden increase in these tantrums, strikes, seem to coincide with a recent trademark application that I believe was submitted in an effort to intimidate and silence. But hear me out, because this is important. A trademark, even if it is approved, but especially while it's still pending, because it is still pending, does not give anyone the right to issue false copyright takedowns. It does not override fair use. It does not allow false or misleading claims just because you get off on being a bully and you can't handle the truth. These revenge-driven or ego-fueled tantrums do not override the law. And perhaps you don't understand, but mass reporting is a violation of the terms of service on all platforms. Okay? And same with a copyright. I mean, anyone could put a copyright symbol on their page, but it doesn't expand their rights. It doesn't negate fair use. And more importantly, once again, it does not justify false strikes against commentary and fair use of materials. I mean, honestly, abuse like this just undermines credibility. I mean, the behavior speaks for itself. It displays a lack of growth and, in my opinion, exhibits and confirms predatory behavior. But I see people hesitating to post lawful content anyway, and I just have a couple words for you. Stop it. You are protected by law. So basically, and let me say this slowly for those who don't seem to understand, neither a trademark nor a copyright claim magically override fair use commentary. It doesn't work that way. This isn't a fairy tale. And we've all seen this, right? All rights reserved. This content is original and protected. Unauthorized use, reproduction, or redistribution is prohibited. Uh, and my favorite, written permission required. This is nothing but intimidation and bully behavior. You can put this bibbity bobbity bullshit anywhere you want, but it does not override the law. It doesn't put anyone above the law. And these days of throwing a tantrum with no consequences are coming to an end, my friend. You have no legal ground to stand on, and no fancy chair to sit in. Okay. And hey, if you want to make claims of copyright or trademark ownership because apparently it floats your boat, inflates your ego, makes you feel important, go for it. But owning a clip does not mean you own the conversation around it. It doesn't grant the right to retaliate, harass, or abuse reporting systems just because the truth is uncomfortable and exposes your lies and destroys a fabricated narrative. And these intimidation tactics are nothing more than a bully bluff. And for those of you who don't know, a bully bluff is when someone thinks that they're superior and they pretend to have power or authority that they don't actually have in an effort to intimidate, scare, control, silence others because it makes them feel more important. But at the end of the day, it's a bluff. It's all for show. And this whole holier than thou or rules for thee but not for me attitude screams nothing but spoiled freaking brat not getting her way, not growth, because growth isn't something you claim on a fake podcast. It's something you demonstrate. It isn't proven by saying I've changed while you're actively trying to silence anyone that questions you. And with all this claimed growth, you would think by now that you would know that truth is not hate. Okay.
Does common sense compute to you now? Let me show you guys who I am as a person before you just start slapping labels on me.
You know, for 2 years, you've asked people to give you a chance to prove that you've changed. Give you the grace and the time to prove yourself. Let me show you what I can do. Well, it's been 2 years, and you've shown us exactly who you are. You're the bully on the playground, and you've proven that you have not changed. Instead, your behaviors have gotten worse, and you refuse to play by the rules. You lash out when your lies are exposed. You've continued to destroy lives. You've taken livelihoods. You've caused division. You refuse to follow rules. And here's the truth. And I know the truth is hard for you to hear. It's like crosses in holy water to a demon. But nobody needs a convicted felon of a brutal crime positioning themselves as an influencer to young audiences. You are not a good example. You do not represent growth. You represent chaos without consequences. And trust me, there is no magic in that. And you proudly claim,
I want them to know that I'm going to be the cockroach that they pest control and a nuclear bomb can't take out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to irritate the fuck out of you because I'm that bitch.
well, nobody wants to live among infestation. Nobody chooses to share space with something that spreads toxicity everywhere and wherever it lands. And this isn't about hate, it's about standards. Because you are not an example of growth. You are an example of what happens when consequences don't stick. You asked for a chance, you got it. And you showed everyone exactly what you plan to keep doing. And it's time the behavior stops spreading. It's time the infestation gets addressed because people are tired of it. So yes, we're gathering signatures. We're organizing. We're documenting because it's time we remove the bully from the playground because enough is enough. But here's my concern. When people get frustrated, and I'm guilty of this myself, our instinct is mass emails or phone calls, but it doesn't help. It backfires. Instead of being taken seriously, it just becomes noise. It's like a swarm of gnats in your face, right? It's distracting, it's irritating, very easy to swat away. It's an annoyance, it's an irritant. It eventually gets ignored and forgotten about. This is why I took the time to create this petition, because I want one documented record with real, verifiable numbers, because that's going to carry much more weight than hundreds of emails ever could. This is strategic and organized. More importantly, it shows that there is a growing concern amongst the public. It's not just an isolated incident. I want this document to think of it this way. I want it to be like a cobra. You know, when a cobra rears up to signal its presence, everyone suddenly pays attention, right? Because it's visible, it's unmistakable, it's impossible to ignore. And it signals the real concern of potential danger. And that's what I feel like this is. With that being said, I want to very much clearly say that this wasn't created to harass or bully anyone. That's not what this is about. The sole purpose is to document the growing concern about how reporting systems are being used, including the false copyright claims and other efforts that are being used to attempt to suppress lawful speech. But it also acknowledges the broader concerns that we've all talked about, the ones that keep getting overlooked in regards to platform conduct, especially when we have a convicted murderer of a brutal, brutal crime influencing a predominantly young audience. I've done my best to structure this as an umbrella resource. So we have one verifiable record. We collect signatures, and this record can be used on any platform. It can be referenced if anyone needs to appeal a strike, dispute a claim, restore access to their account, or request review of enforcement decisions. But right now, it's in the early stages. Right now, the goal is simple. We need to collect support. We need to build a measurable record that shows and proves that the public concern is real and it's shared. It's meant to be referenced when relevant and appropriate, not weaponized. It is not meant to be used for mass outreach or agency campaigns, anything like that. Once the support grows larger, the bigger issues can be addressed in the proper channels and at the appropriate time. But for now, it exists to collect and represent concern in an organized, incredible way. If you made it this far in my video, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. I really appreciate it. And if anything of what I've been rambling about, and I don't know how long now, if any of this matters to you, please read the petition. Make sure you agree with it, sign it, share the link. And just so you know, any support for this petition is all collected privately. Your name will not be displayed publicly unless you decide to do so. But the endorsements are verified and counted. No personal data will be made public, like I said, unless you decide to put your name out there. No information is sold or shared. That's not what this is about. This is about documenting public concern. We've all been talking about it forever. It's time to stand up, join forces, come together. Enough is enough. So please, as I mentioned, share the link, make your own videos, share it with your followers, share it with your supporters. The more support we get, the better. Once we get a good platform, a good foothold going, we can tackle the bigger issues with, factual data of concern. But please keep it respectful, keep it factual. This is not about bullying. This is about coming together to say enough is enough. We'll let the numbers speak for themselves. Let's gather a real organic following. Let's show people what that really looks like, okay? Thank you guys so much. Please read it, sign it, share. Let's get to work. Let's get this going. Enough is enough. I know we've all had enough. So thank you so much for your support. Until next time. Oh, and one more thing before I sign off. As I said, share. Whether it's this video, whether you make your own video. I'm going to try to make a shorter video, but the link will be in the description. It's also on my post page. If you go to share the link and it says request permission, ignore that. Copy and paste the link from your address bar at the top. But please, come on, guys, let's get this out. Let's get some signatures. Enough is enough.